What is going on, everybody? So in tonight's video, I want to go over a package that I got in the mail. This is from a company that I ended up recently stumbling upon. I was searching and digging around on Instagram, come across a company called Kio. Kio is a inspiration house. Their motto is a lot like mine, wanting to smell good but at a fraction of the cost, not having to come up and cough up hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I got a package here from them. Let's get into it. Go ahead, open our package. When using anything sharp or any sharp objects, please be careful. I'm gonna open this up here, and you are met with your package. Almost like a heart. Did they do that on purpose? In here we have two velvet bags that are seated in here, nice and comfy. So they had a really nice and comfortable commute on the way over here. One thing I see on here that I think is pretty interesting is the black on black with the Kio on top of the black velvet bag. That is super cool. I love black on black anyway. Having that detail on there, that's a really nice touch. Very subtle too. Open this up and you are met with your bottle. Very simplistic, very chill and just straight to the point, but kind of got like a little bit of a classier vibe to it. Love the way that this looks, man. This is Kio number 4. This is inspired by Creed Neroli Sauvage. Extrait de Parfum, 1 ounce bottle. Our next one is number 11. This one is inspired by Louis Vuitton California Dreams. Extrait de Parfum, 1 ounce bottle. Again, lovely and simplistic presentation. Let's start off with Neroli Sauvage. Like I said, once again, beautiful presentation. Take this cap off here. Cap holds pretty well. I wouldn't pick it up by the cap, but it does fit pretty secure. Pull that up. What I like is that these particular bottles and these caps don't have any cracks or anything like that. There are some companies that use these style bottles and they tend to be a little rough on these bottles. The caps tend to get a lot of damage. They tend to get warped. So I'm definitely glad to see that these are in mint condition. Check out the atomizer here. Okay, nice fine mist. Kind of gives like a little bit of a narrow shot, but not too bad. So far what I'm catching in the air, oh man, I'm really mad that I haven't found this sooner. What I'm catching in the air is coming off like this really bright tangy citrus and what comes off like a tobacco almost, but in the air. Like it's almost like a dirty tobacco and citrus kind of a vibe. Man, I'm really feeling this though. I'm like in the air, I'm feeling this. This is a banger so far. Let's check out the notes first. The notes for this is bergamot, bitter orange, grapefruit, lemon, neroli, verbena, orange blossom, and ambergris. Oh man, there's something in here that is slightly dark and has, I don't even want to say spice, because I feel like what tobacco does to fragrances isn't always spicy, but there's something in it that reminds me of like a slightly damp tobacco leaf. Oh man, there's something in here. I love what the ambergris does to this as well. With that, whatever that is darker, that's a little bit giving off that tobacco leaf vibe. That ambergris kind of cuts it a little bit, just adds just a little bit more of a creamy, smooth, and perfumey sort of a vibe to it. The citruses in here are bona fide. They are right there along beside each other and they're all working. You're going to get a sharp zing of that citrus. Like I said, just spraying this and catching it in the air, that's exactly what I was getting. This is super pleasant, super loud, it's punchy, it's unapologetic. I'm straight up getting like this almost woody tobacco-like vibe and a sharp, zingy, zesty, loud citrus, and I'm loving that. You're getting just a little bit of a pretty perfumey musk from that ambergris, but not a lot. I love this, yo. Absolutely love this. Those citruses begin to, in a weird way, calm down and come up a little bit more. They're not as zingy and sharp and zesty as they were in the beginning, but they are still managing to be louder, just not as sharp, not as cutting. and they're coming up a little bit more. That whatever tobacco vibe I'm getting is starting to get a little creamier, starting to calm down just a little bit. I love it. But it's something dark in here, and I'm loving everything that it's doing. I cannot wait to pull this out in the spring and in the summertime. And that is Creed Neroli Sauvage, number 004. And it could be a multitude of things that's giving off that slight tobacco like vibe. Sometimes, depending on what citrus you have, if you have a yuzu and maybe a yuzu, and if it's accompanied by a certain note, instead of it giving off a really pungent and just obnoxious citrus, it'll give off almost a pine kind of a vibe. And with that giving off that vibe, it's gonna almost come off like a cinnamon bark. You get some citruses that just tend to do different things, and they just have some really unique properties, and when paired with the right things, you'll get some very interesting results. As I said, with this one here, I'm getting like a loud, zesty, refreshing, sharp, slicing citrus, and then like this dirty, semi-dry tobacco. Very pleasant. Next up, we're testing out this Louis Vuitton California Dream. I've been a fan of the Louis Vuitton releases. Afternoon Swim is one of my favorite ones. Just another bona fide, relentless, simplistic citrus scent that just lasts. We'll try this one on this arm, test out that atomizer. Now this one is much more fine in the way that it atomizes. Very nice and even distribution on that. The cap on this one is a little looser than the other one, but no damages or anything like that. I would definitely suggest picking this up by the bottle. Spray a little bit on the hand here. Let's take a look at the notes. The notes for this one is a little bit more simplistic with mandarin musk, pear, ambrette, and benzoin. One thing I will say about this fragrance is everything is balanced. With the Neroli Sauvage, the citruses were completely unbalanced, not misbalanced. It wasn't like it was a mistake or anything like that. It was just an uneven distribution of how much this is going to get in comparison to how much this particular note is going to get, and it was done on purpose. And so that's what makes this one unique. That's the reason why I even like this one. This one is way more balanced. You're not going to get anything obnoxious happening. Nothing's going to stand out. Nothing's going to jump out at you more than the next note. Everything is so even. Everything is just evenly distributed and evenly done. The pear isn't coming off too sweet or too perfumey like some pears do. Pear is one of the notes that I see utilized in a lot of women's fragrances, and if it's done overly so, it can become a little too pretty. This one isn't done like that at all. The citrus with the mandarin, it isn't too much. It isn't too loud. It isn't taking over the fragrance. The musk is just perfect. The benzoin adds just the right amount of like that slightly resinous and almost like this slight nutty sort of a vibe. Really light, nutty, and sweet sort of a vibe to it. Kind of reminds me of like a really light and just well-tamed tonka bean, the way it can come off sometimes. Oh man, you do get little small sparkles of that mandarin that come up. You get some of that prettiness from that pear. There's a little bit of that sweet creaminess that comes in there. The musk is there and it's sort of carrying everything. The benzoin adds like a nice, little bit more of weight to the fragrance. Let me tell you something. This is beautiful, and I really like this. It kind of reminds me of a mandarin heavy. Bord Afrique had more of a mandarin heavy opening. That's what this reminds me of. With the notes that it has, it's very balanced and very creamy, musky, and just a beautiful scent. This kind of reminds me of that. Just a very even distribution, very even vibe of what's going on, with just a little bit of a nudge towards that mandarin, adding more like this sparkly opening. I believe that pear is sitting right next to that and providing a little bit of just a prettier aspect to it, kind of taming it just a little bit. Fragrance is beautiful. Got a little bit of sweetness in here, creamy, musky, light, airy, completely unisex. Guys or girls can wear this fragrance. Spring, summer, easily. Even fall. I would even say fall, earlier in the day, you can pull this out. As we were able to see, beautiful atomizer. Right now, you can pick this up on their website for the 1 ounce, about 25 bucks. And that's just, you can't beat that. Great price point, great presentation, and the smell on these are amazing. These are really good smelling fragrances. You can also pick up the 10 ml for about 10 bucks on their website. Great price point, great presentation, customer service is quick and timely, they're very responsive and extremely friendly. This particular company is ran by mom and daughter, so I thought that was a dope duo to run the company. Really fresh aspect to the approach to starting your own fragrance brand. As I said, their fragrance brand approach was simplistic, giving you a great fragrance at a great price point that can fit just about anyone's budget, including everybody in to be able to smell great without having to sacrifice acknowledging the budget. To the creators over at KOFI, I am extremely enjoying these two right here. You'll be seeing me checking these out for the next few days for sure. I'll drop a link in the description where you guys can check out this particular company for yourself, browse through their selection. Got a pretty decent selection, and it is a fairly new company. Website's easy to navigate, great presentation, great price point. Definitely take a look at their website and give them a try. Listen, that is it for this video, you guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.